Hey guys, Pastor Jeremy here. Just wanted to bring a little bit of encouragement and content to your week. I hope you're having a wonderful one right here. You've made it to hump day, you've made it to Wednesday. If you can just get through this, it's a downhill slide from there for the rest of your week. And just wanted to talk to you and thank you again for everything that you're doing for our church, for connections. And it's always a blessing whenever we get to hear testimonies of what God's doing in your life. And it's encouraging for everybody to know these things. And I got a testimony this week. I thought it was so cool about someone who had a son who was a part of our connections department, and that both the adult and the child were actually part of connections, and had been having a physical problem with joint pain and a rash, just kind of a bizarre thing that was breaking out all over the son's legs. And she just brought it up for prayer one day at one of our connections huddles on a Sunday morning. And they had taken that request. One of the leaders had brought it to me and some of the other pastors, and we'd just been praying about it. And God miraculously healed their son, set him free, and now he's not dealing with any of this physical condition anymore. All the rashes, the joint pain, everything has gone away. They sent me pictures. I mean, the rash was there and now it's gone. And God has just done this miraculous work in their lives. And so if you have a testimony of something God's doing in your life, let us know. I'd love to hear about it, to encourage other people. The Bible says we become overcomers by the blood of the Lamb, what Jesus has done, and by the word of our testimony. So it's absolutely phenomenal to know that God is still working and He wants to work in your life. And so there's a couple of ways that happens. Sometimes it's by Him using miraculous power to set us free. He does what only God can do, and then we have to in turn do our part, do the part that only we can do. So I want to bring you a very practical teaching today and talk about time management. I think on a professional level, it's probably, as a spiritual level, I get asked the question probably more than anything else is, how do I know that God's speaking to me? And maybe we'll talk about that one day. And we spend a lot of time in church talking about that subject, but on a professional level, probably the number one question I get is, how are you so organized and how do you manage your time? And I'm not the greatest in the world, okay? There's a lot of folks better than me, but I have found a system that worked, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Let me see if any of this sounds familiar to you, because when I started trying to become a student of time management, I was desperate. I couldn't get things done by the end of the day. I was constantly working late, coming in early, and didn't seem like anything I did made any dent in the amount of work that I had to do. I had sticky notes everywhere. I had them all over the computer and all around the desk, and I would have little notes by my keys and notes by my shoes, and don't forget this and don't forget that. And I would have reminders set up on my phone, a little ding, 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 and all day. Reminders about reminders, a reminder to check the reminders in the morning, and trying to keep up with everything I had going. I had a calendar for school. I had a calendar for work. I had a calendar for my personal life and the appointments and birthdays and things I was trying to keep up with in there. And it seemed like my mind was constantly going. And at the end of the day, I would think, did I get it all done? I don't know. And I would struggle with these things. So I finally just kind of drew a line in the sand and said, I'm going to become a student of time management. And I got a hold of some teaching, some by Dave Ramsey, particularly another guy named Lee Cockrell, who used to be an executive vice president of Disney World, read their books on business and time management, and started rethinking the way I was structuring my time. So just very practically, I use an app called Wunderlist. You can get it for free. It's on my phone, it's on my computer, and I use the Google Calendar, which is really simple to use. You get a free Google account, and I use it on my phone again and on my computer. It's important to have it on my phone because I can use it on the go, and then I have it on my desktop so I can plan, and then I'm able to share that, like with Jennifer here at the office, so they can add appointments or to-dos, and vice versa. If they're using it too, I can add that. So encourage as many people as who either work with me or for me or whatever to be using those apps, because then it helps us be more and more effective. But the first thing that you have to do if you're going to manage your time and be organized about your day is to make a list of all the tasks that you have to do, every single one. Individually, just list everything that you have to do. It's going to take you some time. And I know you're going to think, I don't have time to make a list. Let me tell you something. You don't have time not to be organized. You've been unorganized, disorganized long enough. It's time for you to sit down, make a list, everything that you have to do. What is it? Every single thing. You say everything at work or everything at home. Look, you only have one life, right? So you need one calendar, one to-do list. You have one life. Now, I know you may have to work at work or do home things at home on home time, but you just need one list because you've only got one brain and one life. So you need one calendar and one to-do list. So sit down, make a list of everything you got to do. These are my projects at work. These are my things at home. This is what I'm dealing with school or continuing education. These are the kids' stuff that I got to get done. And then from there, make it extremely detailed. Let me give an example. I used to have on my list here at church, send email update. You might get our weekly emails. Back in the day, I used to do those. And I used to make the content, I would write it, and then I'd have some people proof it, and then I would email it out to the whole church. And so I remember one time, because I just had the to-do send email on my to-do list, I had written it, I had people proof it, but I forgot to hit send, and I never sent the email, and I didn't notice it for like 4 or 5 days, and by then it was too late, and I just had to, it was a total waste of time and effort because I didn't have my tasks broken down correctly. So towards the end there, where I was still doing the email, I would have make email, get email proofed, send email. I know that seems like a lot of why do you have so many tasks on your to-do list that way? It's going to seem like more if I have to break it down, but those are individual tasks because they took separate time and separate effort. So go ahead and break down everything you have to do. For example, if you've got to go to the store, right? And you've got to go to the store and buy some things. What things do you have to buy? Make sure, okay, make shopping list and take an inventory at your house that you go around and make sure you have everything, right? That's one to do. Second to do is go to the store. And then when you get home, you've got to put the things up. I know that seems like this is silly. Why do I do this? But it's if you get home and you haven't put the things up, or if you go to the store and you gosh, I should have made a list before I left the house. That's why you're doing it, so that you have each task broken down. Now, let me just give you a little bonus side note here. For those of us who have people who are helping us get all of our tasks done, this is the key to delegation. Maybe I can't give away an entire task, but I can give away a step. But I certainly can't give away something if I don't know what I'm doing. People say, I can't delegate because only I can do these things. Well, what things are you doing? And then you can look at it and say, well, maybe I could give this away. Wash car. Do you have to have special training to wash a car? No, I could delegate this task. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be at work or at home, make sure that you have a list of everything you have to do. And then number 2, divide that list out between to-dos and appointments, right? What belongs in your calendar, which would be like appointments, and a to-do list, which is things that need to be done in each particular day. These are tasks, right? And remember, when you're using your calendar, it will help you if you'll add as much information, be as detailed as possible. I like to put in the location of where I have to go, what time I'm supposed to be there. I can set reminders on my calendar that'll pop up on my phone 15 minutes before I have to leave to say, you have to be here at this time, at this place. Because it helps me. I don't have to try to remember it all. We have a phone. All of us are carrying a smartphone. We have a computer. These things will help us to remember for us, so we don't have to worry about it all. Number 3, we get organized about our tasks. And this is really the real clincher of how you get things done. So the very first thing that we're going to do on my to-do list, on my priority, if you come in and you were to talk to me about how I'm organized, I would say the very first thing is appointments. If I have an appointment where I have to be somewhere, someone's coming to see me at a certain day, at a certain time, that's my number 1 priority because I've set that and my word is important to me. If I said I'm going to be there or I'm going to be available, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be available. So that's my number 1 priority. So the first thing on my list is I'm going to say, what appointments do I have today? The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at those tasks and I'm going to look at the calendar and say, what must be done today? What has to be done today? If I get a call that somebody's in the hospital, that I need to run to the hospital and go visit them, what's going to determine if I have to come back to work or if I can just go home after that if it's the end of the day, right? what must be done today has to be done. Time sensitive stuff today has to be done today, right? That's usually one, two, just a couple of things that has to be done most of the time in my life. And it's usually the repetitive stuff that I don't like doing. That's the things that have to be done in a particular day. So bear that in mind, write it down, what must be done, and do those things first. That's usually why I don't like doing those things first, is because they're repetitive, they're boring, I don't want to do it. But I'm gonna tell you something, it relieves stress on my life every day to know that once I've done those things, maybe by 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm done with everything that must be done. And from there, it's just kind of like my mind goes, okay, now I'm working on things that need to be done, right? That's my second category. What needs to be done today? What would be nice if I could get done? It's not super urgent. It's not time sensitive. I mean, it may be time sensitive that I need to have it done by tomorrow, but it's a day early, right? What needs to be done that I would like to work on today? So then I get done with those. And then I have another category that says, if time allows. If time allows, it'd be great for me to change my filing system here at the office. If time allows, I'd like to clean out my closet at home. Those are things that are not necessarily essential. They don't need to be done. There's really no time sensitivity about it. But if time permits, I would like to start working on those things. And that's how you eventually get to those things, because one day you'll come up where you do your appointments, things that have to be done, your need to be done, and then you find out, hey, I've still got some time left. Instead of just putting your feet up and throwing a party and saying, let's just hang out and have a great time. Now we say, what is on my list of things I've been trying to get to, but I haven't had time to get to yet? So when one of those days pops up, I'm able to get things done. And so little by little, I'm whittling down at that list of things that are not time sensitive, but still need to be done. So my time management is a tool that over time I can use to beat down these tasks and get more things done. I've seen studies that show that you can get up to 30% more done if you'll manage your time. And I really believe that, because you're getting the right things done in a way that matters. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to get something done, ask a busy person, because they have a plan, they have a strategy and a system of getting things done. So it's important that you write down your task when people ask you to do something. I always tell everybody around me, if you don't see me write it down and put it in my phone, I'm probably not going to get it done. Hey, Jeremy, can you make it to this? I don't know. Hold on. Let me get on my calendar. I'll put it in my calendar. Then once it's on the list, once it's in the calendar, I can rest easy. I know that when that must be done list is over for the day, I'll go home. I'm good to go because I've got everything in there. When my calendar says, oh, there's no more appointments, I'm done. I'm good. There's nothing for me to be concerned about, right? I don't have to feel like I just got to run around. Then I can start praying and saying, God, what do I need to be doing? What are some things or some people I could encourage that I haven't had time to think about because I haven't spent the time? How are you spending your time? Ecclesiastes says there's a time for everything under the sun. So part of it is not biting off more than we can chew, recognizing how much time we have and getting smart about the tools that God has given us so that we can get more things done. I love the verse that says, redeem your time, for the days are evil. That's so important because we're living in the very last days and you want to get as much done as possible. So if you don't want to be effective, if you don't want to get a lot of things done and you want to be stressed out and have a cluttered mind, don't manage your time. But if you're ready to get more things done, to make a bigger difference, and to de-stress and declutter your mind, you need to manage your time. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family, and do it for those that God has called you to minister to. I really believe that if you can get a hold of time management and getting your life organized, it can really, really help you. I want to pray for you before we let you go for the day. Father, Lord, bless all of our teams. Thank you for all of those who so willingly and graciously give their time so that other people can get to know you. I pray your best blessings on them. And Lord, just like we do every day, I plead the blood of Jesus over them and over their children as part of the flock of God. I pray that those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. In the mighty name of Jesus. We love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.